You know, in today's workplace, how we communicate can literally make or break a company. But what if a huge chunk of our team isn't actually getting the full message? We're about to look at a number that shows just how big this communication gap really is, and I have a feeling it's a lot bigger than you think.
1 in 5. Just let that number hang in the air for a second. 1 in 5. What do you think that represents when we're talking about the US workforce? It's a pretty huge piece of the puzzle, right?
Well, here it is. 1 in 5 people in the US speaks a language other than English at home. And get this, that number has nearly tripled since 1980. This tells us something loud and clear. The old idea of a single language workforce, it's officially a thing of the past.
And that brings us right here. This isn't some trend we need to prepare for in the future. Nope, it's the reality for businesses right now, today.
I mean, just look at what employers themselves are saying. A whopping 90% of US employers already count on their multilingual staff to get the job done. And more than half of them think they're going to need even more bilingual talent soon. The workforce is global, it's multicultural, it's multilingual. So the real question is, are our training programs actually keeping up with that reality?
That leads us straight into the heart of the problem. Okay, so this is our new reality, but what happens when we ignore it? What's the actual cost when our communication just fails to connect?
This quote from a Forbes survey just nails it. Almost 2/3 of people see language barriers as a real obstacle in their company. And we're not talking about a minor inconvenience here. This is a bottleneck. It's something that stops crucial information from flowing freely.
But let's take that a step further. Calling it an obstacle almost makes it sound manageable. What happens when the information that gets lost in translation is absolutely critical? We're not just talking about a drop in productivity anymore.
25%, a full quarter, when we're talking about the cost of misunderstanding. What in the world could this number mean?
And this is where it gets incredibly serious. OSHA found that language barriers were a contributing factor in roughly 1 out of every 4 workplace injuries. Let that sink in. Suddenly, this isn't about efficiency. It's about safety. It's about people's actual lives and their well-being.
And fixing this isn't as simple as, just running your training through a translation app. There's a huge difference between direct translation and what we call localization. Translation just swaps out words. It can feel clunky, awkward, even confusing. But localization, that adapts everything, the idioms, the pictures, the examples, so that the material actually feels natural and makes sense to the person learning it.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem, and the stakes are clearly very, very high. But now for the good news. Because when we get this right, the payoff is absolutely incredible. Investing in inclusive training isn't just about avoiding problems, it's about gaining a massive strategic advantage. Just look at this chart. If you work in learning and development, this is a game changer. When training is properly localized, people can retain up to 50% more of the information. Think about that. You're not just checking a box for training anymore, you're making sure it actually sinks in and sticks. So benefit number 1, and it's the big one, you are directly tackling that terrifying OSHA statistic. When safety rules are crystal clear to every single person on your team, you protect them and you protect your company. You're building a culture where everyone feels safe because no one's being left out of the loop.
And next, of course, this is a huge boost to your bottom line. A massive 84% of people agree that workers are just plain more productive when they can communicate with their managers in their own language. I mean, it's common sense, right? Clear instructions mean fewer mistakes and a way more efficient team.
But beyond just performance, think about the message this sends. When you invest in training that actually respects an employee's language and culture, you're basically saying, we see you, we value you. And that feeling, it comes back to you in loyalty. In fact, some companies have seen their turnover drop by as much as 19% just by offering this.
And finally, this is how you truly walk the walk on diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's a real, tangible action that goes way beyond a mission statement on a wall. You are actively tearing down barriers and building a real sense of belonging, which, let's be honest, is the bedrock of any great company culture.
So the why is a no-brainer, but what about the how? It can seem like a really big project, but it doesn't have to be. Let's walk through a simple, practical playbook to make this happen.
Okay, here's a simple 5-step plan. First, assess. You gotta know your audience. Figure out the main languages spoken and prioritize the most important training, like safety stuff. 2, localize. Remember, we're going beyond just translation. Plan for adapting the cultural bits and pieces.
3. Use the right tech. Modern learning management systems are built for this stuff and can make delivery a breeze. 4. Add support. Think translated guides, cheat sheets, and lots of visual aids to back up the learning. And finally, step 5, pilot and iterate. Start small, get real feedback from your employees, and just keep making it better over time.
As we wrap up here, I think it's so important to frame this the right way. This isn't just some translation project you hand off to a department. It is a core investment in the safety, the productivity, and the loyalty of your people. It's an investment in the future of your entire organization.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to chew on. Take a really honest look at the training happening in your own company. Is it building bridges, making sure everyone understands? Or is it accidentally putting up barriers? The answer to that question could be the key to unlocking the potential you never even knew you had. Thanks for tuning in.